saying that when you already have the chest, no.
Well, here's the thing.
And it's also the whole flipping a coin thing. If you say, what is the odds of getting... I flip a coin twice, what is the odds of it being heads both times? You know, that's that whole issue.
Yeah, I tried to bring up, like, rolling the dice.
Right.
And I was like, you have a 1 in 6 chance to get a 3 when you roll the dice.
What is the chance it will be a 3 the second time?
Statistics say you have a 1 in 36 chance to get a 3 twice in a row.
But that doesn't apply when you get it the second time.
However, both times you roll that dice, you have a 1 in 6 chance to roll a 3.
It's from start to... Example. Blah. Okay. I gave the glittering sword to the guy. Cool. And I got 100 lucre for it. Doesn't seem worth it. I probably got more by killing things.
You'll get a dud bear gold at the end of the quest line. Until then, you just get lucre for it.
Oh, it's nighttime again, so...
I don't know. My whole thing with it is... because the chest drop rate is generous, they appear frequently enough.
Right.
And because the rare drop rate is also generous, there are rare drops in the chest frequently enough. So in practice,
it works.
I was averaging like no more than 30 minutes per rare drop.
Right.
And you're telling me it's a 0.6% chance for any given monster to drop a rare item. When I remember farming the 0.4% chance Rainbow Pudding in Final Fantasy IV DS. I spent many hours over a course of a few days trying to get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's not the only 1 in 256 chance item I farmed in that game either. I farmed all the summons for Idia, and I farmed a couple of the tails for the onion equipment. Like, 1 in 256 is an abysmal rate.
Right. Wait, here's an armory.
What, 4 out of 64, and then 7 out of 64? That is not bad. You just cannot convince me with what I have personally seen.
Well, what is the drop rate here for chest? It doesn't seem to be quite the same 4 out of 64.
No, I'm sure it's different.
Yeah, because it seems like every other spawn or two seems to drop a chest.
Then again, I don't know. It might be the same, because at times in this game, chests feel just as common as Secret of Mana's chests, which are pretty freaking common.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. But at other times, it seems like they're less frequent.
It's confusing. I was never a math person to understand. The best I can do is philosophy it and say,
The only statistic I know about drops in this game is that the glittering equipment is a 10% drop. Although I think the quest has to be active.
okay, I talked to this Umberto, the knight guy.
Yeah, now you have to go back to town at night and go into the house of the guy that refuses to work.
Okay.
And you'll get a little cutscene. Then you go talk to Umberto again, and then you go back to that house.
Okay.
I don't remember if you have to go back at night or not. I don't think you do.
But those are the two big ones that are missable before Dime Tower. Or at least in Wendell.
There's 2 quest lines and then an additional quest that are missable well before Dime Tower.
Okay.
Obviously, if you miss any quests in the quest line, future quests will be locked out as well.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, wait, it does.
I'm about to die again.
Run away! Get your candy. Eat a bunch of candy.
The monsters spawned around me and I was trapped.
Did you survive?
Yeah, because I was able to get a spell off and kill that skeleton in one hit.
I'll go and save, you know? Save every so often. That's what I do. Actually, I probably need to.
Well, I don't normally have that issue. It was just that I got the rare spawn again, which made me have to travel further than I normally do to clear it out. I don't know. Maybe I just don't subscribe to the theory that probability is a thing that exists. Maybe I'm like you. Things either happen or they don't.
And you know, then that brings us into deterministic worldviews, and these past, present, future all exist at the same time. All of those wonderful conversations. Well, I mean, obviously we don't interpret them as happening at the same time, but do they? And those are the philosophical questions. I'm a determinist, though, so...
I think my only real issue with it, though, is that I just don't believe that you can get an accurate probability by combining 2
numbers. 2 separate probabilities.
2 separate rolls.
Mathematically, you might be able to, but as I said, I don't math, so I couldn't actually answer that.
Like, you have a 1 in 4 chance to roll, or to flip a coin heads twice in a row.
Right.
But that feels like a fallacy to me. Because every time you flip it,
it's a 50%.
It's a 1 in 2 chance.
Right. Okay, where's this house, by the way?
It's on the first screen with the Mana Goddess statue. And it's in the upper left.
Upper left. Okay. So I was like looking all over and I didn't see any houses that you could enter. Wait, no, that's still not it. Okay, is this no? Up.
Right. Right.
Is that it up there?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to go up over here. There it is. There's the guy who won't work.
I mean, in the end, all a gambler's fallacy is the expectation of something to happen based on what has happened.
You mean probability?
Right.
Yeah, it's trying
And the
to
very
use mathematical
notion
numbers.
that your chances of rolling a heads 2 times in a row is exponentially worse. It just feels like that's a gambler's fallacy.
Right. Actually, Hampton then sat in logic for a moment. Actually, I think it's the gambler's fallacy to do it the other way around.
What do you mean?
That saying, well, surely it has to happen sometime. I've already done it. I've flipped this coin 10 times and it hasn't been heads once. Surely it by statistics, it should happen next time.
Yes, that's gambler's fallacy.
Right.
There's also reverse gambler's fallacy of, it's landed on heads 10 times in a row, it's going to land on heads again.
Right.
And then there's something called retroactive gambler's fallacy.
Never heard of that one. As I said, though, probability is maths, and maths and I have always had our polite disagreements. There is, a lot of discussion as to whether math is actually, and whether numbers are real.
Well, my whole
That's
hang up here is the theory versus the practice.
Right. Well, and that's like when we're talking about probability in video games. I mean, just look at the way the old Pokemon games work. You can sit and fiddle with the way the probability works manually in those old Pokemon games, making them almost more deterministic than they are probability oriented. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but isn't that how you can trick the game into getting a Mew? By messing with the way it thinks about numbers?
Yes.
Hey, I got a wind coin. We need like a math guy to be in our chat to sit and argue with. Because that would be cool.
I would just like to know
Why what?
cannot wrap my head around the fact that I understand that this is how probability works. And I guess it is a 0.6% chance to get a rare item from any given monster in Secret of Mana. But when I'm actually playing, my results are not showing a 0.6% chance. And I know 14 or 15 is not a large testing pool. But I think given the amount of time each one takes, it should be a sufficient enough testing pool. If that makes sense.
Right.
Like, it's not like I sat there for 5 minutes and said, oh, I got a rare drop. It must not be that rare. No, I got like 14 or 15, and it took me about a half hour or less for most of them. None of them took me more than an hour. However, when I was playing a game that had a drop rate that was a single roll instead
And
of
had
two separate rolls, that was a
Right.
comparable overall drop rate, it was taking significantly longer per drop.
That does sound interesting and something to look into. But numbers don't exist, so whatever.
I think I just don't believe that probability of multiple rolls is a thing that actually exists.
He thought on this. You can argue that it does, but you can also argue perhaps it's not. It's a non-linear combination. You know, it's not. What's the word? What's the word? Rats. I can't remember. Non-arc. Is it? No. Is it? It's not Archimedes. No. That's the word.
I'm just saying it's accurate when you're only looking at one variable.
Right. 1 second.
But when you're combining multiple variables, it doesn't feel accurate anymore. I mean, you can argue it in many ways. Just like the vague argument of, you're telling me if I flip this coin 2 times in a row, there's a 1 in 4 chance it'll be the same thing. Both flips. Then you flip the coin. Doesn't matter what it is. Then you say, so you're telling me if I flip this coin one more time, it's still a 1 in 4 chance that it'll be the same as what I just flipped, even though this coin only has 2 possible sides it can land on. I guess it's just a matter of it's only a probability. It's only that probability until it's no longer dependent upon a variable. I don't know.
Right. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to look it up because there is actually.
It just doesn't really add up with what I know about math. Math is supposed to be one of those things that no matter how you shake a stick at it, you're always going to get the same answer.
Right.
But that's not the case with probability. Maybe I need to, like, actually take a college class on statistics.
It would be a mixture of statistics and other things. Yeah. As I said, hey, I got a Dud Bear's gold.
Oh, I think I finally figured out how to check my trait coins without going to a shop.
Oh, cool.
I think I just have to be in battle. Oh hey, I already have 5 dark coins. That's cool. I totally have not been paying attention when I thought I only had 2. That's what happens when I get talking about the logic and stuff.
Right. It's a conversation that can get crazy.
don't know if you've noticed this about me, but like my perception of the whole world is based entirely on logic.
Right, you are a solid left-brainer.
And maybe that's why I can't quite get my head around this statistic thing, this probability thing, because it probably requires some right brain activity.
Actually, no. That all the probability and statistic stuff is actually deeply left-brained, but it gets into abstract kind of numbers, and especially if you're talking about probability not adding up properly to be probability, you're talking about, I think it's non-Archimedean logic, which is when numbers stop working in order. I think that's what it's called. Might be wrong, don't quote me on that, but there's a specific type of logical structure where numbers don't add up the way they're supposed to, just because of arbitrary reasons, I guess. And it's confusing. We ended up, I remember we talked about it in my talking about utilitarianism and the way, you know, that utilitarianisms are always after, you know, maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain or suffering. But the whole thing is, well, does that add up numerically, or is there some abstract way that adds up? And there's no really good answer to it.
I would approach that the same way I approach this dilemma.
Right.
You can't combine them, you have to look at them separately.
Right, it's like if you have 100,000 people who have 1 unit of happiness, does that mean that's a better state of affairs than 500 people who are at level 10 happiness? I mean, something doesn't seem right there, because that means you just need more people and not more happiness. If to put it in that perspective. So there's some funkiness with the way the numbers combine. It's like it's like there's some logical break where it's like at some point it starts becoming better or worse in the middle. Anyway, I have to take a quick bio break. I shall be back momentarily and get some water.
Alrighty. I'll be here. Farming up these blasted dark coins. I tell you guys what, I am gonna sleep good tonight. 'Cause I am so tired. Like it actually hurts to keep my eyes open. I think that's because I didn't get much sleep today.
And I'm back.
I wonder what my dad would have to say on this subject.
Yeah, we need more people for this conversation. My dad would be cool too. He'd help with the philosophical side of it.
Well, my dad used to be a math teacher.
Right, so and my dad used to be an English teacher, so we'd have all sorts of stuff.
See, I'm better suited for English than I am for math. I didn't get the math genes from my dad. Like, I'm good at math. As far as arithmetic goes, I'm really good at arithmetic, which helps me in higher math. but I can't wrap my head around the rules of higher math.
Right.
Like, I've taken algebra 3 times. Twice at a high school level and once at a college level. I only passed it the second time at a high school level because they didn't go over factoring. So it wasn't really algebra. And I just can't wrap my head around factoring and polynomials. Which means I can't do any other higher math except geometry. Because all the other maths are built on algebra.
Yeah, I was never a big algebra person either. Hey, I got Wisp!
Geometry's easy enough. It's just the only reason I failed it when I took it was because I really didn't do any of the work. Like, I understood how to do it, I just didn't care to actually do it.
Oh, that reminds me of when I took regular chemistry to AP chemistry. In regular chemistry, I was excellent. I was fantastic in regular chemistry. I was coming out with answers to complex bonus questions that nobody else could get. And then AP chemistry rolls around. And nobody in the class probably understood a single thing that entire semester. Myself included. I ended up getting an A because I did all of the homework, but then it's like, okay, here's the AP test, which is what determines whether or not it's college credit. And I think I got like a 1 out of 5 on that test, just because I didn't understand a single thing. It's like, this is too much. I can't do this anymore.
Well, the reason why geometry is easy is because literally all it is memorizing formulas.
Right. I was never good at memorizing
and then plugging numbers into the formulas.
Right. Then again, I'm weird because I'm good at history and nobody else. A lot of people don't like history.
Algebra is difficult because it's not only formulas, but it's also knowing how to actually compute them.
Right.
Like, I can see how geometry would be hard for somebody that has trouble remembering things, but...
Right. I have trouble remembering things that I can't sit and tie together with a simple rope, I guess you could say. Like, history, to me, history always made sense because all events seem to tie in with one another, you know? But especially of any related topic, you know? It's like, okay, here's the history of Roman Empire, and okay, here they're in a war with the Carthaginians, and how did this lead to their eventual collapse as a republic and to an empire, and how did that eventually lead to their rise into Christianity and their eventual collapse as an empire into chaos, you know? That I could always tie all that together really easily.
But I mean, with geometry, I could solve any geometrical equation if you give me the formula.
Right.
No problem. I can promise you I can solve any geometrical equation as long as I'm provided the formula or I already know it. But on the flip side, if you don't know it, hell, you really can't even guess it.
Right.
I mean, that's one of those things, you know it or you don't. There is no in-between, there's no getting close, there's no being able to make a educated guess. It's, you know, the formula and how to do it. Or you're just
Screwed.
clueless.
Hey, cactus.
Cactuar.
Hey, I'm in the hothouse.
Oh, your thing froze.
What thing?
On Discord.
Huh. Wonder why.
You wanna refresh it?
You want me to close my thing off, or close
Just
what?
turn off your screen share and then turn it back on.
Oh, screen share itself? Okay.
Yeah.
More screen share options. Stop